All right. Hello, YouTube. I'm here again with a weird Esper hyper prison thing called Nope. So the plan is to keep the board constantly clear with the bajillion sweepers, and then just take away your opponent's win conditions one at a time with Binding and Ego. And it has Teferi and Precog as card draw, and a Tezzeret is, I guess, like a chunk blocking, spamming thing. Eldritch Born, I'm sure, could use a bit more work, but it almost won a game against Sultai, one game one at least. Mana base, instead of a basic swamp, it's a basic island, and then 4 of all the shocks and checks. Yep. 3 search first constants instead of the regular 2, because I think getting this is more important than it usually is in like a regular Esper deck, because you're not like leaving up counter spells with chemisters. It's just gassing back up with the precognitive perception, and maybe Teferi can stick, though that hasn't happened yet. Yep, the numbers of how many of each card I guess can vary, but 4 of each Unmorg in Ixalan's Binding is pretty much the whole premise of this deck. But I'll go through the numbers anyways. So 3 Search, 4 Thought Eraser, 4 Unmoored Ego, 4 Binding, 3 Settle the Wreckage, 4 Kaya's Wrath, 3 Novas, Cleansing Nova, 3 Precognitive Perception, tongue twister there, 1 Tezzeret, 1 Eldritch Born, and 4 Teferi. And then the sideboard. Got 4 Negates, 3 more board wipes, Cry of the Canarium, 4 Thief of Sanities, 2 Lyras, and 2 more Eldritch Borns. So let's take it through a constructed event and see how we do. Wait. Oh. Confused myself there, my bad. There it is. Don't have enough gems still. Let's roll. Yesterday's deck actually did pretty well. I guess it did as good as it could. Only lost 1 game, so let's hope we can get people good with a different thing. Alright, so we have 2 sweepers and an Unmoored Ego. I'm sure by the time I get to turn 3 I'll know what to name with it. And we're pretty safe from creatures. Oh, is this mono blue? Oh, maybe not. Kinda hope it isn't. Looks like there's an opt here. I'm gonna say this is mono blue. Also, sorry for the crazy weather outside. It's like, oh, it's blue red, so I could name Phoenix, Enigma Drake, Cackling Drake. Not totally sure what's going on. I guess I can just be safe and name something I'm almost guaranteed to hit, which is Crackling Drake. Could have Spell Pierce here. Alright, so they Spell Pierce, that means they expect us to name the right card, which I'm assuming is a Drake. It's definitely going to be Crackling Drakes. Maybe Phoenix. There's a dive down. So it's, well, it's a Drake list. Have nothing to do. So we're pretty much safe from creatures for, well, forever. Fortunately, our opponent has no way of seeing our hand. We'll fully expect Kaya's Wrath and maybe Settles, but they probably won't expect Cleansing Nova. I'm also hoping for a Drake that I can snab. Enigma or Crackling. And just neither. And also, I guess the Settles make it look like I have a counterspell, because I keep holding priority and stuff. Ooh, that's really good. Plays around Spell Pierce, too. Looks like they're waiting until turn 5 to cast Crackling Drakes. And I was exactly right to leave up Dive Down. I think I take it. Yeah. Do I want another sweeper? No, let's look for more Unmoored Egos and Bindings. Although Binding is tough here. Oof. Alright, now we just need a land. Well, maybe, because they do have Spell Pierce, and I imagine they want to Spell Pierce the hell out of this. Chart of Course, sure. Hopefully they discard probably Shock. It's not very good, though. Yeah, just get rid of an island. declines to do anything. Let's pass. So if they do Crackling Drake, no 6th land, I can Terramender. Okay. It's going to be kind of difficult to deal with. I imagine they're fully going to just snap off Spell Pierce, which means these board wipes will actually kill this. If they don't have another Spell Pierce. Obviously, Dive Down just prevents me from doing anything else. Could have shocked myself to play around Spell Pierce, but I guess getting them out of their hand is just as effective because it wasn't really going anywhere if I didn't do that. They also don't have blue mana to do this on end step. How many? I guess it only cost 1 to do. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. Fortunately, this does not get dive downed. Settle the wreckage. Let's see if they have another threat. Nope. Or if they do, they don't care to cast it. I think these are very solid 1-for-1s because it's like all my removal, and I have so many sweepers, I can kind of just 1-for-1 them forever with all these sweepers. I probably should have played around that Spell Pierce a bit there. That was probably a mistake. Really want to find an Unmoored Ego here. Alright, that's insanely good. Plays around Spell Pierce, which I think is their only discard spell. I mean, counter spell. They have no haste threats, so we get at least 2 cards out of this, unless they have Blink of an Eye. And we picked up another sweeper. Alright. Oh, we're probably just going to go back and forth at like 40 turns, me just blowing up all their stuff. So I don't think I like Cry of the Canarium. It only kills a small Terramander. Lyra seems real good. Same with the Elderspawn. Plays right around things I don't want to deal with. Take out some Teferis. Tezzeret's an excellent chump blocking, spamming chump blocker. Because they don't have trample. Niv Mizzet's going to be a pain though. I'm going to take out some of this top end here. My deck is a lot of 5-mana spells, so I'm going to take some of that out. Maybe you don't need all these Eldritch Reborns. These sorcery speed 5-mana answers aren't the most efficient. Once you pass like Kaya's Wrath, it starts to get a little bit difficult to handle stuff, but depends what their sideboard looks like. I imagine like Disdainful Stroke, maybe some negates. Nothing too out of the ordinary or unexpected. I'll actually keep this. The only thing that would suck is a Terramander. No Terramander. Alright. Unless there is a Terramander and they usually just wait for turn 2 to protect it with the dive down Spell Pierce. That is not the case. Prevent the OTK. I don't think this has Arclight in it, but it very likely could have Niv Mizzet. I think I'm going to go for this to prevent a Enigma Drake here. Oh wow, I am on point. I don't think I need the 6th land. Could have Niv Mizzet. There's no way they're going to have Arclight though. They do have black, so they did that thing where they get cute with the other half of Discovery Dispersal. I will gladly let this get Spell Pierced. No Spell Pierce, alright. Once this resolves, there's like no answer for it on their side, other than Blink of an Eye, which I don't expect. I like Sorcerer's Spyglass, but I guess that's not very common. Though I think it's might be a little bit underrated. I think it's really good. It completely shuts out Esper. Like, you just name these 2 cards, Iskanta and, well, the back half of Iskanta and Teferi, and just kind of sit there and flop around like a fish. Do I want a sweeper? Yes. Somehow I haven't found one yet, so let's see if there's a Spell Pierce. They got to draw something, and it hasn't been creatures. Doesn't seem to be card draw. Maybe just dive downs and shocks? I don't know.
Sorry I'm late. You know what?
Maybe there is Banefire. Really don't know what they could be holding on to. That's not a counterspell. Unless it's like more of these exactly. So, Fight with Fire or Banefire. Looks like it's a bit more likely. Looks like a Niv Mizzet? Maybe not. Just Banefire for 5? No, it is a Niv Mizzet. That's strange. They can't even protect it from the Teferi mines. Huh. I think I'm still just... Oh. Well. That was easy. Gimme. Thank you. That's funny. Alright. So we don't have to worry about Niv Mizzet for the rest of the game. There's like nothing but Blink of an Eye that handles this. They probably wanted to wait for a dive down there. I'm very surprised they didn't. Because I think that's what they were doing up until that point. And then they decided randomly not to. Maybe just to force Teferi to minus. But they saw so many sweepers game 1. I don't know. That seemed a little strange to me. But again, leads me to believe there might be something else that I'm not expecting. Like another shock. Like Teferi minus and they shock when they pass or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's brutal. The old binding. Alright, so... That's annoying. Let's run this out. Unfortunately, this plays around Spell Pierce, so they won't be incentivized to just throw that out here. But I guess it's not the worst, so maybe do draw 3 cards. Again, there's no way to give this haste. So if I kill this, I think Teferi's good to ultimate. But I have to actually kill this here. So let's play Kaya's Wrath. I mean, one of these has to resolve eventually, right? Settle or Wrath. I mean, yeah, no, I said that right. Alright, so it looks like Teferi's going to ultimate here. They don't think there's any haste threats. Oh, no, they have a shock. They have a shock. I lied. Let's play this tapped. And, pass. Discarding... Probably basic planes. No, just Godless Shrine. No reason to take damage. I haven't seen a single Unmoored Ego yet, I don't think. Or did they counter the first one? No, I just haven't seen one yet. 33 cards in. Or 27, sorry. Dispersal. Ooh, that's good. That's really good. That's a reason to run black. I kind of forgot. That was the Blink of an Eye effect I was talking about that they probably didn't have, but they do have it now. Because of this cute black source here. Well, paid off. I guess I'll run Precog out. I mean, the closer I get to... No, actually, I'm just going to Escanta. I think the Precog's good to gas back up once I run out of resources. Also, I don't want to run out of cards. Alright, let's actually see what's going on. I'm very curious what this card is. Okay. Trancing Melody. I think we saw that game 1. I just kind of spaced on it. I did not expect it to be in for this game. I'm going to keep all sweepers ever. Replay to Fairy. Fortunately, no ultimate, but they're still completely on the back foot. But they do have a defensive spell for another binding, but it does not play around Eldritch Reborn. Also, I am deeper into... I was going to say fatigue. Deeper into decking than they are. That's funny. They also have not seen any counterspells from us. I wonder if they think we'll have some. I imagine just like comes second nature to fully expect Esper to have a bunch of counterspells. Did they top? They did. They topped. Okay. But did not play a creature. What is this? Another Dispersal? Blink of an Eye? Oh, they moused over Niv Mizzet. Oh, they have Blink of an Eye! Well, wait a minute. Oh, no, this works because, the dive down, I can't just redo that. That's unfortunate. Alright, so I guess I have to Eldritch Reborn it then. Do I want to plus first? Sure. I guess it lowers the chance they chain things together with shock and dive down. Let's run out Eldritch Reborn and hopefully steal this Niv Mizzet at some point. Unless they bounce it themselves. I did not expect Blink of an Eye. I wonder how many copies they have. Yep, cycle the shock.
Don't make another move.
They don't cycle the dive down. Okay. I have a lot of cards in hand. I guess I'll run out Search. It's better than doing Stone Cold Nothing, I guess. Yep. Tap that, play this. Let's get rid of... I guess I can get rid of a Teferi here. Well, if they kill this one, it could be a problem. I like my whole hand, though. I don't think I need all these precogs. Like, the things these precogs are looking for are already in my hand. And Ensconce can help me find more bindings and, what's the other card? Unmoored Ego. Oop. There's only so many threats they can have. Surprisingly enough, I think, yeah, they've only seen 3 threats in their entire deck. And they're kind of pushing the halfway point. So I don't imagine they went too threat light, expecting as much removal as they saw in Game 1. What is this? If they have another Dispersal, I'm going to start bouncing this Eldritch Reborn because it's just a constant answer to what they're doing. And it plays around Dive Down. What is this? Explosion? Oh. I didn't expect that, but alright, that's pretty solid. Hopefully I find an Unmoored Ego and I can mess up what's going on. I guess Thought Eraser does the same thing, kind of. I definitely want that. Alright, let's... Oh, they get to discard too, right. Discards a Dive Down. There's another Niv Mizzet and an Enigma Drake. A Thud. So they can like one-shot us with a giant Drake. Oh, you have to sacrifice the creature? Alright, so that's not as good as I thought. Let's see. I could just take the Dive Down, right? Because that turns on... Oh, they have 2 Dive Downs still? Alright, I'm going to take Niv Mizzet. And then, ooh, Unmoored Ego. That makes this really easy. So I can just Teferi plus into it, naming Enigma Drake. It's unfortunate, though, because they've already seen 2 of them, but... Let's just take Enigma Drake. So there's a 4th Enigma Drake. 1, 2, 3. They have all 4 Crackling Drakes in the deck still, and 2 Rouserex as their win conditions. An Entrancing Melody doesn't do anything. 1 more Expansion Explosion. Good to know about. Alright. We get to steal a Niv Mizzet, so I gotta deal with that. They have no way to bounce it back to their own hand. So they have to actually kill it. It's very likely they'll find a Crackling Drake, and they have an army of ways to defend it. I can easily Binding Rouserex, and there's nothing they can do about that, though. So that's not a threat we gotta worry about. It's just the 4 Crackling Drakes and the 1 Expansion Explosion, which I actually don't have an answer to, like in my entire deck. So let's hope they don't have 24 mana and one-shot us. Oh, there goes the negate. I want that. Let's steal Niv Mizzet. Pretty straightforward. Looks like they want to throw burn it to Fairy before this resolves, so I don't cycle. Let's Binding. Yeah, let's binding will guarantee we get a oh, they don't have a negate, alright. Let's name Crackling Drake, and that should be all she wrote, because there's not much they can do now. Let's see. One expansion explosion. Entrancing Melody. Oh, they can steal Niv Mizzet right back. I didn't think of that. Oh well. Not the scariest, because I have so many answers to it. Can't cast Ralzarek. No way to bounce anything. So it's really just that last expansion explosion. So I guess trying to close this game out pretty quickly is pretty important. Don't want to take damage here. They do have a dispersal, but oh, I guess the dispersal actually does work. It bounces Niv Mizzet back to their hand. I didn't even think of that. Huh. Because it's the most expensive permanent in play for me. Kind of surprised they would take pings before they decide to bounce it back to their hand here. Looks like they're just going to wait. Maybe they're waiting for me to tap out again. Playing around counter spells. Oh, I want that. They gotta be careful, though. I guess so do I. I don't want to run out of cards. That'd be a way to lose. So if I play Lyra, and they dispersal Niv Mizzet on their end step, cast Niv Mizzet, they'll 1, 2, 3, 4. They'll have double dive down to protect it, and I'll definitely want to be able to board wipe, so I don't want to kill my own Lyra. Although I could swing with Lyra. And then, yeah, I could just swing with the Lyra. I could also just Kaya's Wrath this. No, they'll bounce in response. Man, I have all the stuff in the world, and it doesn't seem like I can use it. Yep, looks like... Alright, I'm going to go to attacks regardless of what happens. So let's just start with there. I imagine they're not going to take 5. Alright, they take 5. I wasn't expecting that. So they bounce Niv Mizzet on end step, they recast it, and they probably don't cast Thud on it. They have double dive down, they can safely kind of just cycle those. It's going to suck to lose Lyra to their mind control spell, but there's not much I can do about that. I can actually look for another Unmoored Ego here. There's 2 more in the deck. It's pretty likely I'll find one. Name Entrancing Melody, so they can't steal my Lyra and win the game through it. Although an Eldritch Warrens. No, let's just stick to the game plan. Also, if this resolves before they do anything, I'm probably going to name Discovery so they can't bounce Niv Mizzet. And have to waste the Entrancing Melody taking back their own permanent. Alright. So now the only thing that stops this Niv Mizzet is the one Entrancing Melody. Let me just double check. Entrancing Melody, yeah. Alright, sweet. We prisoned them out. We had so many sweepers, probably half of that didn't even matter, but there could be an instance where Explosion could have gotten us. Wow. Alright. Oh, man. So you just cast all the sweepers and all the card denial, and you win the game. Icy Manipulator. 4 mana, tap something. Other than, I guess, a Planeswalker. It might not be enchantment either. I think it was like land, creature, artifact. Alright, so we're doing it. I also forgot to put History of Benalia on the sideboard, but can't follow me everywhere it goes, everywhere I go. Some sweepers that are both uncastable into a 5-minute planeswalker that might not do anything. So let's that's a little bit better. That's also really good. Let's hope it's not Sultai. And the wind's going ham. Oh, it's mono blue. Or blue-red, but leading on Opt is interesting, especially if casting Opt before you know what your opponent might be doing after playing their initial land. I'm still going to say it's mono blue. With no 1 or 2 turn creature. Yeah, this has got to be mono blue. So I guess we just keep slamming board wipes until one of them works. Looks like they have Dive Down. To the surprise of no one. Let's see if they have the 2/2. Nope. Let's see if they have a Curious Obsession. I guess this matchup's pretty straightforward. I just mindlessly cast a bunch of sweepers until one of them does something. Settle's not good against Storm Tamer because it could just counter it. So I might take out Settle, bring in Cry of the Canarium. And I'm already thinking about the sideboard. I think this is all but over. I don't think I can beat this. So they kept Dive Down. Let's see what's going on. Plays around Spell Pierce real nice. By the looks of it, they have a Spell Pierce? Nope, they have a hard counter. So I could take this. Hope they don't find a counterspell in their top 2. I could take the... No, I'm going to take the counterspell first. Another Binding? Sure. So we have to hope Settle the Wreckage does something. There's no reason to put the... not cast Curious Obsession. I would actually put it on this. I guess this dies to like Moment of Craving. Oh, alright, so they just have everything ever. Cool. Well, we know about the Dive Down. So can't really cast Binding, and they'll just name Eldest Reborn. I mean, they'll just pick this with Eldest Reborn. So they have to have not drawn a counterspell in the top 3 cards, which I find empirically unlikely. Oh my god. Alright, so... Please don't have a counterspell? I mean, if they do, I lose. And if they don't, I might still lose to other things anyways. Like, this doesn't actually win us the game, it just... What? Even if that resolved, they weren't totally out of it because... Wow. Wow. Alright, so Lyra... I'm probably going to take out... Okay. I wonder what was... I mean...